It's true. You can learn how to avoid overspending. But how? I mean, we all spend money. It's how we survive and even thrive. Now, for some, spending money is just getting by. And for others, they constantly struggle with impulse buying and all those spending temptations. I'm sure you can relate. You run into your local discount store for a bottle of hairspray and you walk out 30 minutes and $100 later with 5 bags. Yeah, let's face it, the temptations are everywhere. You can't even escape them at the checkout. Those candy bars are calling your name, and those miniature, overpriced hand sanitizers are just staring at you, getting in your head and telling you that you just need them. Hey everybody, welcome to Thrifty Budgeting. On this channel, we teach you to resist temptations and keep your eye on the prize, which is your savings. So in this video, we're going to tackle those money habits and show you how to avoid overspending. Now make sure to watch until the end of the video because we don't want you missing out on any of these great tips coming up. So with that said, let's get started. So first, in order to avoid overspending, you need to set up a spending strategy. So this is where you get to create a budget that allows you to know exactly where your money's going. Now, regardless of how much money you make, mapping out your budget and sticking to it is what's going to get you on track and get you out of debt. So tracking is controlling. So if you aren't keeping track of your money going out, you may be shocked at how much you're spending each month and not even realizing it. I mean, small things like quick snacks, coffees, and other treats can really add up at the end of the month to a whopping amount, an amount you could have put on a bill to help get you out of debt. It's important to evaluate your spending habits to spot any potential budget busters. So don't skip this step and don't sweep those red flags under the rug. Take a good hard look at your expenses and be honest with yourself. Those $80 monthly coffee runs and $200 plus restaurant tabs with coworkers might seem harmless, but they could be silently sinking your budget. So there are a lot of apps available that you can download on your smartphone. And if you're not tech savvy, you can still use an Excel spreadsheet or even a good old notebook for your budget. When you start your budget, you want to ensure that you have the essentials covered first. Now that's going to be things like shelter, food, utilities, and transportation. Your essentials are the things that you pay for in order to survive. You have to have these. But anything else you spend can be reevaluated. So simply by taking this small step, you can visually see how much you spend on different things like food, gas, personable items, and more. Okay, so you're going to compare your income against your spending and see if you're in the red or the black. When you plan your spending for the month, figure out how much money will go towards your necessities and how much will go towards building your emergency fund and paying off your current debt. In the end, stick to your budget. It's what's going to help you avoid overspending. Once you do that, next, you'll make a list and limit your shopping. Now, to avoid overspending, you need to get your ducks lined up and set some boundaries. This means to make a shopping list of everything that you need before you hit the store. Your shopping list is going to help you limit your shopping because you aren't going to deviate from it by adding things you don't need. So it's going to help you put a stop to those impulse buys. Now, if you don't have one, you can get a small dry erase board and then hang it onto your refrigerator. We definitely recommend doing this because when you notice that you're running low, you're just going to jot it down on that list. And before you hit the store, just take a snapshot with your smartphone and take the picture of the list so you don't forget anything. And then also limit your shopping to once a week. Now, the simple act of a meal prep will help you regulate your spending habits as well. It's easy. You're just going to plan your meals ahead of time. So figure out the meals that you want to make for the week. You might think about making a larger than normal meal. That way you can eat leftovers and figure out the ingredients you'll need and add that to your running list on the fridge. Now, if you're following a recipe, be sure and check around your kitchen for the items to see if you already have those. So when you're shopping, you want to look for deals, markdowns, sales, and be sure to use any coupons that you may have. Now, keep an eye out for weekly specials. They typically start during the middle of the week. This is when many of the previous week's items prices are reduced for faster sales before the freshness date expires. And while you're shopping, write down everything you buy. So when you run in and out of the store to grab something, be sure and write down what you buy using a pen and paper, even if it's a stick of gum. You need to write it down because it's going to make you conscious about your spending habits. So the things that you buy should be written down within the hour of the purchase. So always be prepared by carrying a small notebook in your car and jot down the cost and then the total spent. Be sure and enter in how you paid as well, like cash or credit card. Again, you want to use cash, always best. So taking this step and being mindful of your spending can really help you stick to your budget. You're visually going to be able to see the money that you're spending, the item, and the amount. So be sure to review your spending journal every day. And if you do online shopping, which most people do these days, you are still obligated to write down your online purchases as well. Now also, rather than tossing your receipts, be sure and keep them and record exactly how much you spent on each item. It's a clever way to tackle your spending habits. With the addition of receipts with your journal, if you end up overspending for the month, you can pinpoint exactly when and where you spent your money. So this method forces you to go through each purchase. It's a real eye-opener, and you'll learn and visually see that every cent does matter. And while we're on the topic of budgeting, you might want to stop going out to eat. Here's the kicker. If you want to avoid overspending, limit eating out. Eating at fast food joints is just as expensive as eating at restaurants these days, minus the tip. However, I've seen fast food places with a tip jar. So if you're eating out at lunch with your coworkers 5 days a week and spending roughly $12 each time, that's $240 a month. Do that math. It's $2,880 a year. So if you look further, that's $2,880 that could have been paid to your mortgage, a bill, or a vacation. Now, we're not saying to avoid eating out completely, but if you do decide to go out to eat, be sure and check out sites like Clipcard and Card Cash for discounted restaurant cards. I mean, they are a fantastic way to save on your next meal. So here's a neat trick to save even more. If you're going out as a couple, grab 2 discounted gift cards. For example, let's say you buy 2 $50 cards for $40 each. That's $20 that you've saved already. So when the bill comes, ask for separate checks and use 1 gift card each check. So by splitting your bill, you can maximize those savings and get an even better deal on your date night. So just keep in mind that your actual savings will depend on the discount that you did score on the gift cards and the total cost of your meals. Also, be sure and keep your tip reasonable and tip what's earned. Another little savings hint is to tip on the subtotal before taxes. A lot of people overtip because they're tipping on the total, which includes the tax. Why would you tip on tax? Ouch. Now, another thing that you can do to save money while eating out is that you can check out apps, websites, loyalty programs, and mailers to see offers that apply to restaurants. And also join mailing list of the restaurants that you go to a lot. They often treat their loyal members with goodies and freebies. Also, a lot of places do offer discounts to the military, seniors, and students. All you have to do is just ask. So here's the hard part of going out to eat. Watch what you eat. If you're watching your budget, be smart about your menu choices. You can save money by price scoping and choosing a more inexpensive dish or order off the child's menu. And these days, alcohol and sodas are even pricey, so water is going to be your best option. Now, for a little pizzazz, you can add lemon to that. Also, another trick to avoid overspending in restaurants is go when it's a special occasion or even a national holiday. Oftentimes on these days, you can rack up on specials, discounts, and even free items. So another thing that you can do is reconsider your credit cards. Now, I'll be the first to say that credit cards aren't evil. They are simply an exchange of financial discipline for convenience. Now, if you're an overspender, though, it's going to be safer if you start using cash instead of a credit card. Now, look, I know they do have their place, but if you're one who tends to abuse them, then perhaps you should reconsider their use. Poorly handled credit cards can really get you in deep debt. Now, you can also avoid overspending by simply ditching those credit cards. Using your credit cards can make your purchases seem painless, so it's easy to go on a spending spree. And they're painless, yes, until the bill comes in the mail. So let's say you're out and you don't have cash to pay for an item other than your essentials. It's always going to be best not to get the product. So paying with cash not only is going to help you prevent overspending, but you're going to not overspend because you're going to start feeling and seeing the actual moolah leaving your hands. And that means you're going to be more aware of your spending than if you were just simply buying things with your credit card. So checking out is even easier with credit cards now. All you have to do is just swipe and go. However, watch out for those upcharges because we are living in harder times and stores are having to tighten their belts too. So in the recent years, stores have been charging the customer the credit card convenience fee rather than eating it themselves like they used to. So you have to be careful because you could be charged anywhere from 1.5% up to 4% just to use your card. At 4%, some vendors may profit from your payment method as well as the items purchased. Now here's something that some people may call extreme, but it really does work to help when it comes to your credit cards. So if you want to keep your credit cards and use them for special moments only or times when you really need it, put your credit cards away, take them out of your wallet, stick them in a sock and stuff it way back in a drawer. Now many people also will freeze their credit cards, and I mean literally freeze them. They put them in a Ziploc bag, fill it with their water, and toss them into a freezer. But don't worry, it's perfectly safe for the card. They're totally designed to be durable and can handle a wide range of temperatures. And also, if the card has a chip, no worries there either because they're actually made of a durable material called EMV that can actually withstand freezing temperatures too. So it's a safe and effective way to put some distance between you and your credit cards if you need to. So when you're ready to handle the plastic again, you'll just take them out and let them thaw. Now that we've covered some very important points about how to avoid overspending, put them to use. If you're diligent, you can get out of debt and save money. Now let us know in the comments your experience and let us know if you would like for us to cover any thrifty saving tips. And if you're not already, we would love for you to become a part of our Thrifty Budgeting family. So please be sure and hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any videos on Thrifty Budgeting. Let's connect and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.